Bexar County's district attorney wants former DA Nico LaHood's law firm removed from cases he prosecuted. A lack of funds paints a bleak future for Lake Dunlap residents. And the United Way and Pre-K4SA offer to organize a business alliance for child care providers. This is your Express Briefing podcast for Friday, June 7th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. A fired police officer accused of tampering with evidence. A nephew of a prominent Republican accused of strangling a former girlfriend. And a man accused of murder. All three defendants have one thing in common. They were prosecuted by former Bexar County District Attorney Nico LaHood's office before attorneys at LaHood's new law firm signed up to defend them. And now District Attorney Joe Gonzalez, who unseated LaHood in last year's Democratic primary, wants the LaHood Norton firm off all three cases. In separate motions last week, Gonzalez asked three judges to disqualify the law firm from each case, citing violations of law and professional conduct that would give it an unfair advantage at trial. LaHood was placed on probation in March by the State Bar of Texas for professional misconduct in a 2017 incident when he was district attorney and is the lead partner at LaHood Norton, but is not listed as defense counsel for any of the defendants. However, among those listed as counsel are Jay Norton, a partner at LaHood Norton who previously served as chief of the DA's Criminal Trial Division under LaHood, Patrick Ballantyne, an employee of the firm who previously served as chief of the DA's Ethical Disclosure Unit under LaHood, and Jason Goss, an employee of the firm who previously served as a chief prosecutor under LaHood. Bexar County DA Gonzalez argues in the motions that the firm's three lead attorneys, LaHood, Norton, and Goss, work as a team, not as individual practitioners. LaHood's own involvement in the cases may conflict with the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures and the American Bar Association's Model Rules of Professional Conduct, which says that district attorneys, after they cease to be such officers, shall not be of counsel adversely to the state in any case in which they have been of counsel for the state. The Bar Association's rules also prohibit any lawyer from representing a private client in connection with a matter in which the lawyer participated personally and substantially as a public officer. Guadalupe Blanco River Authority officials have painted a bleak future for Lake Dunlap residents and others who own property along the 6 lakes under the agency's control, but remain hopeful that the agency will eventually be able to fund reconstruction of all of its dams. The agency's 6 lakes all have dams built in the 1920s and 30s, and 2 have had catastrophic failures. The middle spillgate of the dam at Lake Dunlap collapsed May 14th, draining much of the 400-acre lake. In 2016, part of Lake Woods Dam also gave way, and it has not been repaired. On Wednesday, GBRA officials addressed a crowd of about 900 people in the New Braunfels Convention Center at a meeting organized by the Preserve Lake Dunlap Association. As all 6 dams need to be replaced, at a cost of about $180 million, GBRA faces a complex path forward. The agency gets the majority of its revenue from water sales and wastewater treatment, but cannot spend that money on dam repairs. And for years, GBRA's revenue from hydroelectric production has reportedly dropped due to the deregulation of the electric market and the emergence of cheap and plentiful natural gas, meaning officials don't have the money needed for repairs. Officials had hoped for a disaster declaration that could bring in federal funding, but the failure did not meet the criteria of a disaster. Necessary funding could ultimately require the creation of a special taxing district and partnerships with other governmental entities. And the city's Pre-K 4SA and United Way of San Antonio have announced a plan to create a network for local child care providers to share resources and negotiate better prices for supplies and equipment, predicting that the resulting business advantages will improve child outcomes. Thursday, leaders of both organizations and the Houston-based nonprofit education advocacy group Children at Risk pitched the idea to some of Bexar County's 900 licensed child care providers. While goals of the Shared Services Alliance would include increasing enrollment and revenue and decreasing debt, it was a tough sell, as small business owners in the audience weren't convinced gains from joining forces would outweigh the competition they already face from the nonprofits spearheading the alliance. Another meeting on the matter is scheduled for July 17th and will be open to interested child care providers. And that's your daily San Antonio Express briefing for Friday, June 7th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts.